alale ka kelo ke sawalaye. Yo, alale ka kelo ke sawalaye. Adimin tanyawonya, akola ya tanyawonya. Iji ko sembe alala, alale ka kelo ke sawalaye. Adimin tanyawonya, akola ya tanyawonya. Iji ko sembe alala, alale ka kelo ke sawalaye.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the launch of the Blind Bridges of Love by Abdou, alas the perpetual poet. My name is Ajinube Ajijob, and I'm honored to be here. I'll be moderating this excellent launch. We just want to take a moment to appreciate our special guests and our special speakers who are going to be sharing an inspirational word with us today. We first want to begin with our first special guest. First, we want to acknowledge the presence of Madam Amina Jaju. While I'm calling their names, can you help me give them a round of applause, please? Thank you. Second, we also have on the special guest list, Madam Fatima Jame, Sona Nyasi, Janaba Sonko, I'm sure she's not yet here, Mr. Lamin Tabali, Madam Salimatu Fati, Mariam Mafal, Madam Jojo Escoli, Agustin Neki, Fatu Kamara Junior, Madam Adama Mba, Janaba Baji, Safia Tujuv, Mr. Musa Sise, Mr. Utman A. N. Jeng, Mr. Demba El Jame, who is the Chief Guest of Honor. A round of applause for him, please. Madam S. Toure, who is Sister of the Day, and Tida Kijara, the Mother of the Night. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. We just wanted to make a quick announcement before we proceed and tell you what we are going to be experiencing today. We just wanted to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Demba El Jame, who donated at this spot on this time, right now, $25,000. Mr. Lamin Demba have been a supportive philanthropist who've been doing amazingly well with youth people, with young people across the country and beyond. We are so grateful, sir, that you're joining us today. Before we go further, I just wanted to introduce to us the author, who is no other but Abdou Komma. Abdou Komma, can we have you on board, please? A round of applause for this young man. It's a tough journey to make a dream in the country, and without nothing, we started. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. I think he deserves better, right? Excellent work. We want to see young people like him taking up the podium and taking up the audacity to start a dream. Everybody knows that making it in the Gambia is the toughest job to do, especially as a young person. We're just having an issue with the protest of young people out there, but we don't want to delve into political issues, but we just want to stick to our lunch today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you permit me, I want to welcome Madam Zainab Baji to give us the opening remarks. Madam Zainab Baji, please.
My name is Zainab Baji. I'm an entrepreneur, an actress, and a content creator. I am so delighted to see so many familiar faces in the audience today. It's a pleasure to stand before you all and extend a special welcome in this afternoon as we celebrate the launch of the Blind Bridges of Love by Abdou Komma. We are thrilled to be part of this exciting journey as Abdou Komma brings this captivating story to life. Once again, thank you all for joining us on this special day, and welcome to the launch of the Blind Bridges of Love.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blind Bridges of Love is a fascinating book of a profound insight of navigating through love, grief, and betrayal, a wider understanding of what cultures place into the perspective of unbreakable love, and the power of forgiveness. Everybody at some point in their life experience love, whether it's from the mother's side, from another angle of love. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sparing time to be with us this afternoon. And our special guests and speakers, we're excited to hear from you. First, we want to start with Mr. Keta Buara, who is a teacher of Mr. Abdou Komma. Mr. Buara, if you're on stage, please, we want to hear from you. I don't applause. Everybody is made by teachers.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The chief guest of speaker, Demba El Jame, my uncle, thank you very much for coming. All guest speakers here, gracing this Augustus gathering today, I greet you all. Parents, sisters, my brother, Papa Isawane, thank you very much for coming with me to grace this Augustus gathering. And thank you to all teachers out there. We are change makers. My duty today here is to tell you how I struggle with this small boy. Today is a bigger boy today. I was not a classroom teacher, but I was a coaching teacher. A study teacher to Mr. Abdou Komma, who we are gracing a great occasion. It's a historic moment for me as I stand before everyone here to be given as the guest speaker to speak about this boy. I am crying in my heart, but I think it's a joyful moment for me. Komma was a boy, a small boy, I can remember. When he used to be very stubborn though, but very intelligent. I can remember the small bicycle that he used to use from Basending to where I stayed. It's almost 2-3 kilometers. I started coaching him when he was in grade 10, when he had some problems in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And these are the areas that I taught. When the father called me one day, Mr. Buaro, are you in town? I said, yes, I'm alive, I'm in town. And told me that I want you to coach this boy for me and want you to be very good mentor. Teach this boy for me mathematics, physics, and chemistry. I told the father, you can pay anything you pay. If you don't pay, I'll do it free of charge. When Komma started the class, 1 month, 2 months, teachers were telling Komma, you are changed. Where are you getting the stuff? And some of the students were asking. He said, it's from Mr. Buaro Keta, my favorite teacher that he used to call me then. We struggled together. Even when he's late, I'll call the father more than 4 or 5 times. I don't see my boy. Where is he? The father don't know so many things that happened between me and Komma. But today I will say it here. I was keeping this for a moment, and this is the right time to say it. So that the father will know I was there for him even when he is not present, to make sure that this day today happens. I studied Komma in grade 10. Grade 11, Komma started writing and coming with poems. I think the poem that he always wrote is about Mr. Buaro Keta, the integrity man. It's there he started writing poems. He writes poems about me. Students keep asking, who is this Mr. Buaro that you always mention? And you always say in your poem. He says, it's a teacher that figure out something in me and is ready to support me. I'll call Komma even in the late night. I say, Komma, what are you doing? Are you studying? Say, yes, I am studying. I say, I can come up to Basending and see whether you are studying. He say, don't just believe me, I am doing it. I figure out something from the boy the moment I saw him when we interacted. I know that he is a special boy who needs to be coached and to be mentored and to be given the support that he wants to realize his potential in the near future. And today, this is what we are seeing here. Komma didn't see me just as a teacher. He saw me as someone that can guide, can support, can motivate him. He shared his problems with me when others do not. And I was always ready to ensure I support him. And if you give him extra lectures, just let him realize that he is a figure that people one day will embrace. And this is what we are doing today. I remember when he came to me in the night, I was not rich. When the TRRC started, Komma will start coming to my house late for studies. I used to be very angry when he's late, but he starts reading poem. He make me calm me down. I say, you have started. But I realized something that he's getting from the TRRC. Because he always mentions Mr. Esa Fall, the way that man speaks. I say, okay, now, when it's time for TRRC and you know Esa Fall is leading, is the lead counsel, just tell me, I'll allow you to watch it. After the sitting, I will give you another time, but I will extend your time. If it's 2 hours, we'll make it 3 hours for classes. He said, no problem. So I think he was trying to learn something from there. So it is a duty to a teacher to figure out potential from students and help them in anyhow you are going to do it. Your help is from Allah. Your payment is from Allah too. In grade 12, when Komma was to sit to exams, I called the father. I said, the father, I am going to remove Komma from your house. He will come and stay with me. The father started, what about the feeding? I said, the feeding is from Allah, not from you. I say my payment will come from Allah. And even when I'm feeding, they are here. I can see one of them also present here. They were all in my house 24/7, reading books. Even when I'm sleeping, by 1 o'clock they'll wake me if they have a problem in mathematics, and I will do it. I'll thank my wife so much. My wife, this would have not been possible if not the support of my wife. You leave your house 1 o'clock, you are with students, and the wife is still comfortable with that. I thank my wife so much for the support she has given me to nurture potential people. Some are nurses. Today we are gracing a very important person today, Abdou Komma, the grammarian. When the father used to call me, Mr. Boaro, how is your boy? I say he's doing fine. Hope he's not hungry. What about the feeding? I say the feeding is not for you. Leave it to me and Allah. The father said, Boaro, you have started. I say, yes. I don't have, but good heart. Allah pay good hearts. And this is why when Komma called me and said, you are the guest speaker to talk about me, I say, I have so many things to talk about you. Sometimes Komma will come and tell me, Mr. Boaro, you know why? I want to write a book. I say, Komma, you have started again. Not poem now, you want to write a book. I say, I'm ready to support. We struggle. Komma will come to me a special day, even not a study time. I say, Komma, but it's not a study time. He say, I will come here, even it's not study time. I am not just following you because of studies. I have seen you as a person that can mentor me so that I can realize my potential in the future. And this is what we are all gracing today. I'm very delighted. I thank Allah so much for this day today. And I thank my mom. She always tells me, may God give her Jannah. She used to tell me, my son, try by all means to put a smile on somebody's face. And I think I do that. This is one of the examples. There are many. And I thank Mr. Komma, Abdou Komma, thank you so much for honoring me. This is a historic moment in my life. And Mr. Komma, the father, thank you very much for the confidence and the trust you have on me. Because without the trust that you have, you will not release your child to come and stay with someone all the way from Basendin to Komma, a distance of 2 to 3 kilometers. It's trust and the belief. I'm proud of you. Thank you. On that note, I'll thank everybody here. Also to give supporting hands to youth, especially the teachers. Let us not undermine any student who need help. Let's help. Our payment is from Allah. And I thank Allah and I thank everybody here. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm standing here not because I am Mrs. Buaro, because I don't know Buaro, I don't know Abdou, but we are destined to be together. The fact that I have never met him before, it was through social media, but through somebody whom I admire, Mr. Manjang. When I see Mr. Manjang follow somebody, I follow the person. Because I respect Mr. Manjang, I know interacting with him within an hour, I know the type of man he is, the thinking he has, and what vision he has for young people. So it wasn't a surprise for me to follow Komma. But then when it came to the book, I was surprised that he wanted me to talk. I said, my dear, I love literature when I was in school, but it was many years ago. So you want to bring me back to something I have forgotten my teachers taught me. But I want to say I'm happy to be here, and I want to congratulate Abdou for being a young person with a vision and who is so determined. His energy, I cannot just understand. The times he called, the times he reminds you, the energy he has put in promoting this book really is amazing. Well done. But he tasked me to do something, to talk about women in leadership. I say women in leadership. So when I reflected on it, I say, okay, I cannot talk about women in leadership. I can talk about myself. Maybe from there, we will pick something about women in leadership. So I titled it, Women in Leadership, A Reflective Journey to Leadership. This is because I find it very difficult. Because defining women, we take it for granted that we are all one. Yet, I find it profoundly challenging because women are not a unique category. We are as diverse as the world, shaped by culture, environment, socioeconomic realities. Leadership, too, defies singular definition. It is influenced by myriad factors, regardless of gender. Today, I share my journey, a woman entrusted with responsibilities, navigating decisions, and embracing the traits that define leadership. My choices are guided by empathy, stakeholder considerations, and the lasting impact of my actions. I weigh problems carefully, seek common ground, and pursue it with purpose. Women's leadership in both private and public spheres is fostering growth and strengthening social cohesion. But consider the complexities. How does a woman lead when her life is woven into the fabric of cultural expectations, religious norms, and extended family systems? My decades of activism for women's and children's rights, coupled with cultural exposure, have shaped my perspectives. For me, education was the key to empowerment. And that is what Mr. Boada just talked about regarding Abdou. When you talk about education, for me, is the doorway to leadership. I speak of leadership in plural, rejecting the narrow view that confines it to political or institutional roles. True leaders begin at home, in families and communities, before extending to the broader stages. My first act of leadership, refusing to drop out of school. In a world where early marriage loomed as my presumed destiny, I negotiated my path, excelling in my studies and avoiding early pregnancy. These small victories empowered me to make larger choices, including the choice of my life partner. Raised in a devout Muslim household, I balanced Western education with rigid traditions. My days began before dawn, fetching water, pounding grain, hand washing clothes, all while attending school, religious classes, that is locally called Dara, and even petty trading to hone entrepreneurial skills. I was groomed to be a good wife, yet within me born a desire to transform those confines. At 10, I underwent female genital mutilation, FGM, a ritual meant to ensure submission. But it ignited the opposite, to resolve to spare my future daughter and all girls from such harm. Education became my weapon against oppressed norms, arming me with the courage to question, negotiate, and dismantle barriers. Yet, these values fuel my quest to confront the contradictions in our traditions. Raised at the crossroads of cultures, I learned to scrutinize norms through multiple lenses. My marriage to an educated man, my exposure to diverse worlds, and my unshakable pride in being a woman became tools to dismantle barriers, defying the mold others had set for me. Every step forward was an unspoken negotiation. My quiet determination, my refusal to bend on what mattered most, forced even my family to reckon with the woman I was becoming. Ami, nimu ketunu abedia la nyebake. If you were a man, I will appreciate it much. Baba, musiyate kelenye nasoti. Dad, being a woman will not be a setback for me. This exchange with my late dad, Sheikh Boja, may peace be upon him and all departed souls, laid bare society's narrow vision for women. But where they saw limits, I saw leverage. I turned womanhood into an advantage, leading not with dominance, but with the quiet power of observation, emotional intelligence, and radical empathy. In my home, leadership means fostering respect and assertiveness, a space where dialogue triumphs over dogma. In my professional life, it means collaboration, evidence-based decisions, and nurturing talent. Women leaders excel at bridging divides, mentoring the next generation, and adapted systems for sustainable progress. Let us dispel the myth that consultative leadership is weak. To listen is not to concede. To compromise is not to fail. True leaders weigh the greater good while honoring minority voices. We must reject patriarchal hierarchies that stifle progress and instead champion inclusivity, wisdom, and visionary thinking. Strategic communication is our tool. Knowing when, where, and how to speak transforms followers into partners. As women leaders, we navigate a web of norms with care, disentangling without destroying. For that very web binds society. We are mothers of both the leaders and the led, and our mandate is to uplift all. In closing, leadership is not a title, but a practice of guiding, learning, and daring to define the possible. Let us continue this dialogue with open hearts, celebrating our diversity and the unique strengths we bring. I thank you for your kind attention. When he said, please be my chief launcher, I said, Komma, you were just confusing me more. But then I said, okay, what am I going to do? I read the book, by the way, to the end. And then I said, The Blind Bridges of Love. It is my profound honor to stand among you today as we celebrate love's enduring power through literature. The Blind Bridges of Love introduces us to an extraordinary guide, the blind woman, whose journey reveals love's most profound truths and contradictions. The protagonist's journey, without spoilers, our protagonist gives us her first love with complete devotion, unaware of how cultural forces will challenge her deepest desires. With disappointments, breeds mistrust, and physical distance creates emotional chasm. We witness how easily love's purest intention can become clouded by assumptions and doubt. This remarkable story invites us to examine love's greatest obstacles, societal expectations, life's unpredictable circumstances, and human frailty. Through the blind woman's eyes, we experience love's dual nature, its capacity for both transcendent joy and heartbreaking sorrow, and ultimately learn how faith and resilience can rebuild what was lost. Her story reminds us we all need companions who will stand by us with unwavering support, helping us rediscover love's light during our darkest times. In the powerful revelation, she understands that you cannot give what you don't have. Showing remarkable empathy for her beloved childhood's trauma, even as we grapple with literature's most haunting question, how can profound love transcend into its opposite? The novel masterfully reveals how traditions that appear beautiful can sometimes constrain the human heart, privileging collective norms over individual yearnings. Yet, with these constraints, love persists in all its forms. Romantic love that both frees and confines, maternal love that withstands unimaginable tests, familial love that survives betrayal. The blind woman's ultimate victory demonstrates the formidable human spirit. Despite enduring systems, oppressions, and personal violence, her courage to challenge conventions transformed her world. Surrounded by believers, she proves that despair can be overcome through community, inner strength, and unshakable determination. To our gifted storyteller, Abdou Komma, your poetic prose transports readers across villages, forests into hearts and conflicts. Your words, particularly I quote, "Smile, beautiful smile is the weapon of strength," captured the essence of your heroine journey. Congratulations on this magnificent achievement. Thank you for allowing me to participate in celebrating not just a book launch, but literature's power to eliminate love's most profound truths. May the blind bridges of love inspire all who read it. Thank you and congratulations.
It's a warm good evening from me. I will first of all start by congratulating Abdou for me to be chosen among the writers, the female writers of the Gambia, the upcoming writers. I would not call myself a writer. I would call myself an upcoming. I know Mike will not agree. But as an upcoming writer, for Abdou to single me out of the lot to be one of the speakers is a big, big honor for me. Abdou, thank you. And I will also extend the thanks to Mr. Komma Senior. Mr. Komma Senior, all praises should start with you for grooming up a boy like Abdou. Yeah, and his mentor, the teacher, Mr. Boaro, a big thank you to you too for putting Abdou through all this and then making sure that he's somebody that we are all proud of today. We are all proud of you, Abdou. I'm tasked to talk on females, that is women in the literary space. I'll start with a joke. You know they say it's women that write about love, right? Yes. What is the title of this book? Can everybody say this title, please? The Blind Bridges of Love. Is it written by Raki? No. Is it written by who? Abdou Komma. Is male or female? I just wanted to break that joke up so that at least people will get enlightened more of the fact that it is not only women that write about love. Whenever we write, they say, hey, love. That's the stereotype we are giving, and that's not so. All right? That is just to say, everybody can write about love. Love is a feeling. Everybody feels it, right? Good. So I'll start by saying I'm happy to be on this podium. All protocols and guest speakers, special guest of honors, the chief launcher, Auntie Ami, and my fellow speakers, Binta, and the gentlemen. A good evening to you all once more. I would like to express my profound gratitude to the author we are celebrating today. It is a great honor to stand before you all to talk on the topic, women in the literary space, which is going to be a lengthy speech if I am to delve into all the details about women who has contributed in the literary space. But I would rather try to give a brief breakdown of themes of women writing, that is the things that we write on most of the time, the things that made us to be labeled as writers of love. All right? Most of it, most notable of them is female empowerment. Most of our writings are centered around female empowerment. When a woman writes, she writes about how she feels. Because as you know, women are empathic people. We write about how we feel. So most of the time we write on female empowerment. We write on resistance against oppression. We write on quest for autonomy. And when we do, we call names. We are labeled. When you write on autonomy, for instance, you will be like, Elif. Dafa independent. When you write on female empowerment, they will be like, dafa buga gis len ma. All right? Sorry. Professor Barry, you're welcome. Many a times, women are forced to prove their worth and their equality to men. And no matter how much they try, female authors are often deluded into watered down, lesser versions of some male writers because we choose to write on complexities of relationships. We choose to write on motherhood. We choose to write on sexuality. And we choose to write on what? Personal identity. Before I progress onto the challenges authoresses face, You know, we are called authors, but a female author is called an authoress. A female poet is called a poetess. I wanted to highlight that. I would like to shed light on our pace setters. Notable of them is someone we know to be the mother of Black literature, Phyllis Whitley. We cannot talk about Gambian literature without highlighting Phyllis Whitley. Little is known about Phyllis Whitley, but those that are into literature can attest to the fact that she was a captive, I will say a victim of slave trade at age 8, captured from the Gambia and taken across the Atlantic to the United States of America. She was fortunate enough, though, to be with masters that were educated and were education oriented rather. And her master's children taught her how to read and write. And guess what? She gained her freedom when she published her first book. All right? We got to know about Phyllis Whitley in one of her poems, where she highlighted that she is from the Kambi Bolong. And where do we consider the Kambi Bolong if not Gambia? I think that is something that we need to celebrate and we need to honor her for. That the mother of Black literature is actually a Gambian. Another notable person that we cannot talk about Gambian female literature, that is females in the literary space of the Gambia, is Louise Antoinette Mahoney, otherwise called Louise Njai. She was the first Gambian writer. She first published her work in 1966, immediately after independence. As we know, Landry Peters was the first Gambian writer in 1965, and it was followed by a female writer. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Lady Augusta Jawara, that is the first lady of the First Republic, was also a writer. We cannot make mention of the female writers in the Gambian literary space without making mention of her. She used a pen name in one of her books, The Rebellion. She was called Aminata Kinti. That's why many people did not know about her. The first lady of the First Republic, Lady Augusta Jawara. We cannot also name the female writers in the Gambia without making mention of Auntie Janet Badiane Young. We cannot also do without Florence Mahoney. We cannot do without Amisila, Dr. Ralphina Dalmida, that was my dad's teacher. Anytime he showed up on the TV, my dad would tell me, "Kiss what teacher I want Amitage." All right? Rohi Samba, Anteres Ndongjata, Matilda Johnson, Patience Sonko Godwin, Ramasulai Utman, Auntie Juka Fatou Jabal, Ndeta Fa Sose, Madam Aissatou Ndaw, Sali Singate, Aissa Jawara, Dr. Siga Fatima Jan, Ndeye Kumba Demba, Aji Ndumbe Job, Mary Wada, to name a few. We have a whole lot of female writers now, but these are the pace setters. I feel honored to name them because all right? As female writers, if we did not have these people as pace setters, they did not set the way for us to have the courage to continue and propel and push through, we wouldn't have been where we are today. I wouldn't have been singled out as a writer today. I looked through all this. I was following them since childhood. I was saying to myself, I'll also be a female writer one day. That said and done, women writing is marked with some challenges. Historically, women writers encountered significant barriers to recognition and success. Number one of them is social constraints, as Auntie Ami rightly said, and religious barriers. For centuries, societal norms dictated that women remain confined to domestic roles, leaving little room to creativity or intellectual pursuits. Those who dared to write were often dismissed or labeled. We are called names for being writers. We were called names for being people with voices, for being people that want to highlight things that are affecting us. Lack of education is another menace. In many cultures, women were denied access to education, limiting their ability to read and write and contribute to literary culture. That too is something that hindered a lot of women, even where they want to excel, they want to show their knowledge. Sometimes they are retarded by lack of education. Use of pseudonyms. To circumvent gender bias, many women adopted male pseudonyms. For instance, internationally known Mary Ann Evans wrote under the pen name George Eliot because she was fearful of her life, because then women were not given the podiums to be speakers, or they were not given the space to say what they wanted to say. And before we go outside our borders, our own former First Lady is a vivid example of using a pseudonym. That is Aminata Kinte, as I said, The Rebellion. We all know Aminata Kinte to be the writer of Rebellion, when it was actually written by who? Lady Augusta Jawara. Limited recognition is as well another menace. Even when women produce remarkable works, contributions were often overshadowed by male contemporaries or dismissed as lesser work of art. Successes and triumphs. Despite these obstacles, women have constantly pushed boundaries, creating some of the most influential works in literary history. Women writers have become trailblazers. Women writers have become change makers. Women writers have become advocates, peacemakers, won prestigious awards like the Nobel Peace Prize of Literature. Representatives of value, creativity, women writers have become creative and can express themselves. Moving forward, while progress has been made, challenges persist. Women writers often face the double burden of societal expectations and other issues. However, women's rights have improved over the years, but continued progress is not guaranteed. In a time to escalating conflicts, rising authoritarianism, and devastating climate change impacts, women face many issues related to education, work, healthcare, legal rights, violence, and much more, which I believe writing is a key tool in addressing them to raise awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, as leaders, educators, and literary enthusiasts, we must celebrate and support women in literature. This means reading their works, championing their stories, and advocating for inclusion. On a final note, the journey of women in the literary space is one of resilience and creativity. Despite the obstacles, they have succeeded in leaving an indelible mark on the wall of letters. Their stories inspire, provoke thoughts, and provide solace. Let us honor their contributions and continue to champion their voices for generations to come. I thank you all for your attention.
Before I delve into the speech, let me acknowledge the presence of the Chief Lawyer. This is Amibojan Sisoho, the Chief Guest of Honors. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you especially for the time you have taken out of your busy schedules to come and grace this very important occasion. Without your presence, without your support, a day like today would have not been possible. So on that note, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank everybody, all those who have contributed either in cash or in kind towards the successful hosting of this very important occasion. I am here today with Abdou Komma's immediate family. As you can see, the full sisters are here, the friends, the families. Some traveled all the way from Basse, at least to join Abdou Komma to create this very important occasion. So I wouldn't want to waste much of your time because we have a behind schedule and we have so many activities ahead. So I want to thank all of you for coming. The few words that I just want to have to say. Today, the world is moving. Situations are unfolding. Circumstances are changing. Expectations are shifting. We have a responsibility as young men to make effective decisions that is going to impact positively on the lives of people that we serve. And this cannot be possible without commitment, hard work, dedication, quality knowledge, personal development, and skills. We have to take this country to the next level. So without these struggles, it's going to make it very difficult. So on that note, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank everybody for coming. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Lines. Creating tunes without vivid words. Sacrificing lives to waste stanzas. We are not in a competition with anyone else. We run our own race. If you first reach, wait. If you can't, go. We are poets, you know. Shift and still digging worse.
Ku ñeme lu ñu ñeme lu wóor te muy dëgg lu fort seet sell siiw be selem bidiw ji cowli fii la ginaar gi nene
déedéet cowli fii lay xoyame
ayo Lamin Yande góor mooy doole njaga bur doo xolle yàlla naan yàlla mi na Famara Jamme dudu naan na dimbale konde ewa
ayo Lamin Yande góor mooy doole njaga bur doo xolle yàlla naan yàlla mi na Famara Jamme dudu naan ya dimbale konde ewa
ayo Lamin Yande góor mooy doole njaga bur doo xolle yàlla naan yàlla mi na Famara Jamme dudu naan ñetti mele konde ewa
ayo Lamin Yande góor mooy doole njaga bur doo xolle yàlla naan yàlla mi na Famara Jamme dudu naan ñetti mele konde ewa timi xaralola timi xaralola The name Security. Fii mooy the house of poetry. Fii ngay mokkale taalif. Di ko tari si lakum jine. Wala ñu la koy andil si al abjadiya. Maanaam nga di ko firi beset. Right feature the house of poetry. Mooy lamp bi leeral lëndëmu taalif. Ndaw yi ne xay jotaay mbooloo. Kon ñun ñooy safal lépp lu fi saful. Kon daal boo weetoon wetalikul. boo meroon bégal boo jaxasoo woon dalal defaral sa toogaay fas yéene déglu di 21st century folk film
dañ ne fii duñ sol mukk luñu xëju waaye duñ bu bool luñ mënta antal
ndax poetry ñun dañ koy eewoo selmoo ko sangoo ko lekkee ko añee ko reeree ko njoganalee ko jël mbesi may ko ñu ko aajoo kon daal nara xanaa fii mooy best of the best dama ne ñun ngay tànn out of the rest poetry football la kon ñun ñoo koy ces my we admire the strength of a juvenile and respect the gray hair of age. My listen to the roaming voice and pick good fate of the nation's choice. My youth, you are the beating heart of the nation's life, the beacon of nature's eye. You are not weak, but strong for success.
How can we elevate when the elevator left us apart? How can we see light when our eyes are tight so hard? In darkness, We creep with the chill of night, a short of death, an endless fight. We search in vain for a place to rest, but find no heaven in this cruel test. A part-time empowerment has things our existence.
What do you mean?
Is our existence worth living? When the educational system forces us to read and does not create good skill centers. Does our present policies the source of employment? Not these stories of Mangopa. Our brains are deeply sinking. Forum Tower. Promote entrepreneurship. Share the speed of science and technology. Invest in education to shape for skills and job opportunities. Not drawing diagrams of cockroaches.
Now we see the point.
No! Hear our cries. Different spoken words please you to wise. The barrier speed no more navigate the sky. The air of love now cook with manipulation. We are being misinterpreted and misrepresented. But for a moment, hear our cries.
Why bu yalla tànnee ay njiit yooyu njiit war nañoo xalli yooni ndaw sàmm dëkkin bi
Jëfee xalaat yi
saxal dundin
sàmm mbooloo mi
yokku cofeel buy neexal réew. Our hearts are heavy, burdened with war, as we tread two valleys far below.
no sanctuaries, no safe retreats, just the drumbeat of our own people.
Do not be discouraged.
Then, construct good hospitals with proper medical care. Our life lies in the hands of security. The question lingers in the air. Where can we find salvation still?
The implementation and the management of our national development plan, strengthening of accountability, promotion and protection of human rights at smiles to the citizens.
Bul fàtte béykat yi sàmmkat yi nappkat yi
ndax ñi ñoo yor biiri réew mi dénk nañ leen sujeeri réew mi toogal leen ñu ay jëfin ñuy suural njaboot ji bu ndaw mënee liggéey kër ga jaajëfal leen ndey bu ko tette bam àgg kon nguur gi jàppale leen ndaw yi lu ñëpp bokk na ko ñëpp bokk maam
you are love,
we are life,
you are love,
we are hope,
you are thought,
we are strength,
you are time.
we are action. So let's solve them.
Thank you.